Now,
he waves the white flag.
because Livio somehow has the clairvoyance to check the 6 nuts, Dan Smith gets locked out of the First National Bank of Value, 5th Street branch. Just quads. Now,
he waves the white flag.
because Livio. Now,
he waves the white flag.
because Livio somehow has the clairvoyance to check the 6 nuts, Dan Smith gets locked out of the First National Bank of Value, 5th Street branch. Just quads, guys, just quads. These any good? Quads any good?
Now up to nearly 4 million in chips.
Just almost 4 times the tournament average. No big deal. Cash, though.
Over to the other. Pocket sixes for JC Alvarado as we return to the main feature table.
Well, JC's on a bit of a heater.
He raises, makes it 45,000.
Speaking of heaters, this is the one guy at the table running hotter than JC. This kid makes more hands than a mannequin factory.
Dan Smith has King Jack off. Calls from the cutoff.
Speaking of, have you ever seen Mannequin 2 on the move? It's really underrated.
You may be the only person on the planet who's seen that movie. Tobias Reinkemeyer has Jack 9 suited in the big blind.
It's a decent hand, and he's getting ridiculous pot odds.
He calls as well.
Even though we know he's dominated by Dan.
3-way to the flop. And Tobias Reinkemeyer flops a full house. Dan Smith flops trips. Nothing for Alvarado, the original raiser. Action's been checked to Smith. He bets 85K.
Dan Smith has made another huge hand. This time it's not the biggest, though.
Reinkemeyer calls.
After betting a call, not much shot JC sticks around here.
He folds. Heads up to the turn. Which is a 6. JC's so lucky he folded on the flop. Reinkemeyer checks again. Smith bets again. 181,000.
Sick cooler developing here.
Reinkemeyer calls.
Both players are playing this like they absolutely know they have the best hand, and most of the time they'd both be right. As for right now, Dan is in deep doo-doo.
The river's a king. Smith now has a better full house.
OMG. This kid spikes more than a lie detector on Capitol Hill.
Reinkemeyer checks, hoping to induce some kind of bluff from Smith. This is not a bluff. This is a value bet. 384,000, and it's bound to get paid off. It may even get raised.
This is a slam dunk value raise situation. There are only 2 hands on the planet that are beating you, Kings and King Jack. King Jack is the more believable of the two if it weren't for the fact that it would have to be the case Jack.
Hold on.
Reinkemeyer shoves.
The double check.
Call.
Dan Smith calls, and we lose the German from the tournament.
Like the refrigerators at the Center for Disease Control, this is just a sick cooler.
Good hand.
No kidding.
Tobias, it's okay if you want to scream.
All right, good luck. Yeah.
Somebody go ask Dan Smith if it's uncomfortable having that horseshoe up there. Looks uncomfortable. What? I mean under his hat.
14 players remain, and Dan Smith now has close to 5.3 million. We will crack open that €3 million prize pool. 8th place pays 123 grand. The winner gets more than $1 million.
Kind of a big bubble here. 9th place gets 0.
Eric Seidel has folded. Mike Watson has 10-6. He also passes. Ace-King for Dan Smith.
He has all the chips and all the good cards.
Raising with a legitimate hand this time, 65,000. The short-stacked Artem Litvinov with Ace-10 suited.
He's got to push here. He's just unlucky to run into Ace-King, or maybe even worse.
He moves all in for 159,000. You know he's going to get called in at least one spot. JC Alvarado in the small blind. Folds an ace. Mike McDonald, Queen 9, gives up the big blind. Dan Smith calls. Litvinov's at risk.
I wish he could have at least got one last coin flip in. I'm going to be so bummed if he doesn't make the final table. Maybe Shakurchi will do something funny and entertaining. Like sit on an 8 ball. What do you think, Talal, huh?
Litvinov looking for a 10 or hearts. Only 1 heart on the flop. There is a 20% chance of a split pot. A 13% chance that Litvinov wins outright and doubles up.
I never thought I'd say this before, but come on, Russia!
The turn card is a diamond. Litvinov needs a 10 for the win.
Only 2 left in the deck.
The river is an 8. Dan Smith's ace-king holds. Artem Litvinov is the bubble boy. So much for the lucky chair. Dan Smith with the chip lead in the small blind.
That's your chips, please.
Dan should be raising him here 100% of the time, and then just calling the shove. Or...
Yep, he bets enough to put McCrink all in.
snap call. Snap call. Snap call. Snap call.
Good luck.
McCrink eventually makes the call.
Nice call.
Jim won't need luck. He'll just need some non-unluck.
Hearts are my favorite too, just so you're warned. And I'm a flush specialist.
And he's been running super hot in this tournament so far.
And he's dressed like a plumber, one of the Mario brothers.
That's the wrong color. That's the proper color.
Oh yeah.
Specialist, more like a shaman.
9 of hearts would be pretty great.
Well, that's sporting. There's Jim's wife on the rail. She doesn't want to see a heart.
There it is. That'll do it for McCrink.
Nice playing with you.
You are a flush specialist, aren't you?
You should see him work the urinal.
Jim McCrink, first man out of the EPT Barcelona Super High Roller.
These are regular biscuits because his friend is on Atkins. Didn't I say that?